Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Joseph Parker shakes his head at Anthony Joshua turning down the Wilder fight. Stay tuned. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Joseph Parker, he did an interview with Sunday Sport, and he talked about Joshua rejecting a $50 million deal to face Wilder next. He says Joseph Parker, who faced Joshua in his last fight as of right now, says, "I'm surprised." And these are quotes. "After the fight with me, Anthony Joshua called Deontay Wilder out, but it seems to me he keeps changing his tone despite Wilder clearly wanting that fight. Deontay Wilder wants to unify the division. I speak to him often and can really sense that passion that he has to be undisputed champion. Joshua wants to unify too, but I don't think he's ready for Wilder. Anthony Joshua wants to take the fight at the right time for him," right? Parker goes on to say, "Personally, I think Deontay Wilder takes it. Even though he is wild by name and nature, he is loose, elusive, and has power. He has scary one-punch knockout power. I'd take him to win, but boxing is a funny game, and I could be proven wrong." Right? Now, this is at least the second time that I've personally heard Joseph Parker say that he would pick Deontay Wilder to beat Joshua. He also did an interview, which is on YouTube, Eyes on the Glove, Helen Yee interview, Eyes on the Game, excuse me. And he says he would pick Wilder by knockout. Now, I gotta say this. There's not even much to say. That's his opinion. Shout out to Joseph Parker. He's preparing for a good fight with Dillian Whyte. I'm looking forward to that fight. I think that's a real good fight for the heavyweight division. Two guys looking to get back into contention for the biggest fights that are available. So shout out to Parker. And the funny thing is, with this Ego's Army new media, a lot of the ops are getting destroyed because you have all these shock jock YouTube channels, these flash in the pan channels, that they're not going to be here for much longer because they don't keep it real. They're here for certain situations, like let's say Mayweather Pacquiao, and they're not calling it truthful. They say a bunch of bullshit that's constantly proven wrong, and then they disappear after they're finally and fully proven wrong, and people see that, the fans see that. There's a lot of people who, in my opinion, aren't being truthful when it comes to who wants what in this Joshua Wilder fight. But if you study, you look at the path to where we're at right now, it's very apparent to see what's going on. And it's funny because I tell you my opinion. I tell you I think Team Joshua had more to do with this fight not happening and not materializing next than Deontay Wilder's side, right? They keep saying they're the A side, yet they can't make this fight. They're able to make fights within 48 hours, like Joseph Parker, who was negotiating to fight his own person, Brian Jennings, and Dillian Whyte, who lost a purse bid with Epic Sport and was a mandatory for Kubrat Pulev to possibly have a fight in Bulgaria or the United States with him. And somehow both of those guys get pulled, and now we're getting Dillian Whyte versus Joseph Parker within 48 hours, and it surprised a lot of people because people thought, again, Joseph Parker would be fighting Brian Jennings, but it's a big fight, so he chose the bigger money fight. He feels maybe he'll get more respect with the win over Dillian Whyte, and it happened, or it's going to happen. Same thing with Kell Brook. He was in negotiations to fight Jesse Vargas. Somehow Eddie Hearn's able to call him and get him to agree to fight 2 divisions higher when he's coming off of the heels of guys like Kevin Bezier to fight the #1 middleweight in the world, Gennady Golovkin, right? And a strong guy at that, with 350 fights as an amateur, right? And somehow Eddie Hearn and Matchroom are able to get these types of deals done in record-breaking time behind the scenes with little hesitation. And these are major jumps, like Kell Brook jumping up 2 divisions, yet Anthony Joshua claims he wants the Wilder fight more than anything, And Eddie Hearn has confirmed that, yet it's so much that they're going to turn down $50 million just because they don't like the location. When everybody who's a major star in boxing has had big fights in the U.S., from Lennox Lewis, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather, of course, Gennady Golovkin, anybody. You know what I'm saying? All these guys. I can't think of one breakout superstar, blockbuster boxing star, boxer, Mike Tyson, anybody, Muhammad Ali, who didn't at least have some of their biggest fights in America. Now, I understand Rumble in the Jungle and, you know what I mean, going to different Thrilla in Manila and stuff. Muhammad Ali had some important fights elsewhere, but he was already established in America first. But somehow, some way, Eddie Hearn's side, Team Joshua's side, is claiming Anthony Johnson wants this fight more than anything, but they're willing to take a huge pay cut just to keep it on their turf. And, you know, they want a one-way rematch clause. They want to pick officials. They're sending back contracts without the date and the venue locked in, yet they're complaining that the contract isn't coming back quick enough. So wouldn't you feel that? Okay, you know Canelo's back and he's fighting Triple G. Why wouldn't you pre-fill that information out and have that kind of in stone where you want? You're the A side. You didn't want to come to America. Why wouldn't you have those portions of the contract so there's nothing for Shelly Finkel to even respond back to, because those points would already be addressed just by reading the contract with the lawyer. You know what I mean? So if you're really in a crunch for time, I can't imagine why someone would do that. But more importantly, it's funny to see, like I said, there's a lot of channels who are, everything I just told you, they'll say the opposite. Yet you talk to the fighters, Lennox Lewis, he said something eerily similar to what we just heard Joseph Parker say. He literally tweeted this. It's on his page, his verified account. Lennox Lewis says, Joshua changed his tone. Right? And he says, I would myself would bring Wilder. He said Joshua's the man, so I don't blame Joshua for wanting to fight in the UK. Fine. But he says Wilder seems like he's willing to go. This is heavyweight needs the best versus the best. So he was being politically correct, but he still told you Joshua changed his tone. Now, what is Joseph Parker saying? A former Joshua foe. He said after the fight with me, he called out Deontay Wilder. But it seems to me he keeps changing his tone despite Wilder clearly wanting that fight. So it's funny because a lot of informed trainers, media, just different people, fighters who have been following the situation, it's very apparent what's going on to them. Guys like Joseph Parker, who has fought AJ, Lennox Lewis, who was an undisputed heavyweight champion in the division and is from that region. Tyson Fury recently did an interview and says, I apologize on behalf of my fellow countrymen because they're stalling the fight. They wasted everyone's time. Eddie Hearn knows that Joshua's going to get sparked out. He's going to get chinned. That's what he said. Those are his words exactly. And he's trying to prolong it because Wilder's style is all wrong. So we have Lennox Lewis, who's from the UK, Tyson Fury, who's from the UK, Joseph Parker, who's from New Zealand, all heavyweights. And they're saying what I've been saying, what new media has been saying, what Ego's Army's been saying. Yet you have all these other like bunk channels and stuff who are saying this completely different theory. But you don't have a ton of people who are corroborating what they say. So shout out to Joseph Parker. I don't think, just from his demeanor, it doesn't sound like he has anything against Joshua in terms of like, oh, I'm rooting for Wilder and I hate Joshua, so therefore I gotta say all negative things about AJ. Because just listen to his quote. He says, Wilder has scary one-punch knockout power. I'd take him to win, but boxing is a funny game, and I could be proven wrong. So he sounds like a person who's more or less, when he's not fighting, he's just a fight fan, and he's willing to see it. Like I say, let's see it. And he's willing to explore the possible outcomes. Because he just said, if I had to pick, I'm picking Wilder. I think Wilder has it for this, and this reason. But it's boxing. Boxing's funny, so maybe I could be wrong. Which is exactly what I've said. I picked Wilder too. I think Wilder would beat Joshua, but let's see it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? So it's not, you see who's truly biased in this situation. And like I said, they can't find these other channels and writers who are saying the polar opposite of what I'm saying. They can't find people quick enough, people with merit that are backing up what they believe to be the holdup for this particular fight. And like I said, you could just break it down to the most simple molecule. Why pass up $50 million? No heavyweight in history has ever been offered that much. Yet you have Joshua, who claims he wants to be a billionaire, boxing's first billionaire or whatever, and he's willing to take $10 to $30 million pay cuts just for home court, hometown advantage. Like, these things are too inconsistent. Shout out to Joseph Parker. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with him? He's picking Wilder. He thinks that Wilder would get the job done, and he believes that Anthony Joshua has changed his tune, and he doesn't feel that Joshua is ready for Wilder. That's what he said. Let me know if you agree. If you disagree, I would love to hear why. Like, use factual, intelligent arguments. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.